Alright. Hold on, guys. Well. So, hello guys. Just 1 second as I get things ready. Okay. So we're here because we have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Seminole. So this is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Seminole and Pottawatomie counties until 6:15 p.m. So this is a decent little area of hail. Let's draw here. A little decent area of hail's kind of coming in right here. As this moves in a, hold on, that's a bad. So here's definitely where our hail core is. That something happened. Hold on. If you're anywhere in this area down near Seminole and stuff, you need to be watching this as this storm has a decent hail core on it as it moves southeast. So quarter-size hail possible. Also, behind it, near Shawnee, we have other storms happening near Bethel Ark, Gaddy, and Shawnee. Hold on, Do I still have my free trial on this? Let me check. Okay. That did not hurt. Okay. So, there's also a whole bunch of other storms happening over here in Oklahoma. Some to the northwest of Tulsa. Another one down here near Fort Smith's kind of looking pretty good, but it looks like this little pop-up storm, this blip, to the northwest, to the northeast of Fairview, and to the west of Enid. It looks like it's got this storm chaser's attention over here. So let's zoom in on that. Storm chaser Corey Gherkin. I'm gonna prevent audio, so yeah, it's got a pretty decent structure on that. Let's see if there's anything on the velocity. Not much on the velocity that we need to be watching right now. But, oh God. Oh my God. This is really bad. Okay. Okay, so it looks so. Let's actually look into the storm a little bit. Now let's do some timings for this storm. As the storm moves towards the crater. As the storm moves towards the greater trails. Okay, this is really weird. It's kind of moving in a completely south. direction. Well, it's moving. Okay, so it's moving. It's like moving south. Um, yeah, moving southeast. So it's moving southeast. So it's gonna be near Seminole very soon. I wouldn't say very soon, but soon. For the most part. Johnny has a decent storm coming, but I think soon we're gonna start talking about tomorrow. Let's go down here near Fort Smith right now, as we have some storms moving. Hold on. Just moving north. So here is our storm right here, right over Gans, near Muldrow. It's not severe one right now, but they did put a special weather statement on this. I think we very well could get a new severe thunderstorm warning going up towards Muldrow, Talisawo. I'm going to Stillwell eventually, but for now, this is our only severe one storm. We're going to be talking about what we have coming up soon. By the way, if you're in like, hold on, let me get this up here. If you're in like Norman and you start seeing rain soon, that's because you have this decent little ride of rain coming in from your north, and it's going to come in very quickly because this is attached to an actual strong storm near between El Reno and Edmond. So either of these storms could, so there's also, but this is where the storm's coming in from. That's going all the way down from Seminole up to Yukon and Edmond, but the main concern is going to be near Yukon or in Edmond. Let's start talking about tomorrow a little bit. One moment. I'm trying to still figure this whole thing out. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So, we have a whole bunch of storms developing right now. I just decided to kind of come on because obviously we have a severe thunderstorm. But also, we have a whole bunch of other storms, and it looks like things could get a little intense as we go into a little bit later. Also, we do have a mesoscale discussion for the southern side of the Panhandle. It's a watch unlikely, and I don't think they're going to, and if they do issue a watch, it's going to be for mainly Texas, so I do not think we will be in that watch over here in Oklahoma. If they do end up deciding to issue a watch, even though I don't think it's even likely. We have somebody, let's actually, boom, okay. Could somebody chat for me real quick, just so I can test this out here? Like talking about tomorrow. Ugh. Let's go over to Oklahoma. Okay, so we actually have a lot of days of severe weather coming up. Like a lot, I think almost up to 5 days of severe weather. So starting today, because I think we should only start today because we have a risk of severe weather, obviously. But today there's a marginal risk of severe weather going in place for Diamond, Woodward, the northern side of Oklahoma City, Enid, Ponca City, Stillwater, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Muskogee. Around that, we do have a general thunderstorm risk. So that just means that there's going to be thunderstorms, just they're not that strong. Hudson's lightning and Syrup picked up a lightning strike 3 miles away. Okay, wow. So he's pretty close to the storms right now. Probably it's this storm or this storm somewhere that you're seeing. But the next day, we have another marginal risk of severe weather that includes Guyman, Woodward, Enid, Ponca City, Oklahoma City, a little bit of Oklahoma City, Altus, Lawton, Elk City, going to Guymon. But there was originally a slight risk for like Altus and Elk City, but they ended up pushing that. We do have a really big slight risk of severe weather on Sunday. This is actually one of our big days, actually, of severe weather. But there's a slight risk of severe weather that includes Ponca City, Enid, Elk City, Altus, Lawton, Norman, Oklahoma City, Stillwater, and Woodward. This risk definitely needs to be watched because it looks pretty. Did we just get an severe thunderstorm? Okay, I think they continue. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Potawatomi and Seminole counties. The storm gets closer. Actually, it's now moving directly southward, I believe. Yeah, it's just moving south, so it actually is for our friends in Seminole, you're gonna get missed by the worst part of the storm, but you're still gonna get some heavy rain or maybe even some hail. But Ellsboro, definitely still in this threat. So I would not be surprised if they issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for Ellsboro and Harjo soon. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning continued. Anyways, back to what I was saying. This day needs to be watched pretty closely. Now, day 4, Monday. This is also going to be a really big day with tornadoes really possible. I wouldn't even rule out a couple tornadoes. We have a slight risk of severe weather that includes Ponca City, Enid, Oklahoma City, Norman, Altus, Lawton, Ardmore, Ada, Stillwater, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Muskogee, and McAllister. And then I believe another slight risk Tuesday. Yeah, another slight risk of severe weather Tuesday that includes just a really big portion of Oklahoma. During UCLA, you're likely in. I'm not going to read out every town, but I'm not going to read out every city. But if you're in this, shaded yellow, that means you're in the slight risk of severe weather. And then finally, we have Tuesday. So that is Tuesday, my bad. So Tuesday's supposed to be the peak of our severe weather as of right now. So this day needs to be watched very closely as we get closer and closer. We also have a slight risk of severe weather on Wednesday. This one gets cut off at eastern Oklahoma, so it includes western Oklahoma. So it includes eastern Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma, and central Oklahoma. So, all these days need to be watched very, very closely. Let's actually go to pivotal weather over here. Okay, am I in my account? I don't know. As this loads up, let's check back in with those storms. Okay, so this is actually right on top of Neal right now. So if you're in Neal, you're probably getting hail. If I could see all of our things here, I would know. But let's actually go over to composite and look at probability of severe hail. So yeah, a lot of the severe hail is going to be to actually the east of Neal into the southwest of Little and to the northeast of Seminole. Okay, so we're loading in now. We're loaded in now. Continent. Now, if you didn't watch our video yesterday, you would know what I said was a lot of our severe weather isn't quite showing up yet because of all of how far away we are from these storms. So we're just gonna go with what we can see but just know that these aren't gonna be insanely accurate because obviously we're still super far out, so things are going to come to a change, but I don't think they're going to be good changes necessarily. Now, I think this is definitely an overestimate over here. In good old-fashioned RFSSA, because the RFSA model literally always underestimates stuff, but this will or overestimate stuff. My bad. But this kind of gives us an idea of what the storms will look like. So it looks like these storms that we're seeing right now in Oklahoma are going to try to fizzle out as we go into early Saturday morning, but it will kind of reform as they start moving northward. But look at this little big squall line coming in from Texas. Yeah, it's going to be weaker right as it enters Oklahoma around your early morning hours of Saturday, but it's still going to be strong, certainly. Going to Saturday afternoon, there's going to be pop-up storms to the south of Oklahoma City, and there's going to be a couple more in eastern Oklahoma, southeastern Oklahoma, and yeah. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of this come through late in the evening hours of Saturday. So here, I'm going to need, okay, so yeah, they're going to be hitting Elk City around 12 a.m., so, and then they're going to be hitting the peak's going to hit Logton probably between 3 and 4 a.m., and then they'll kind of just throw themselves eastward into Oklahoma City and Stillwater as we go into the morning hours of Sunday. And there's going to be a whole bunch of storms to the south of McAlester around 11 a.m. on Sunday, and probably around lunchtime, and then they'll fizzle off. And then we have a whole bunch of more threats to talk about, but like what I was saying, it's not showing much for all these upcoming storms, but I promise there is going to be something happening on Monday, and well, we can't see Tuesday yet, but if I go to, yeah, it's not going to show me anything for Tuesday or anything because it's not anything, we're too far out basically. So jumping back into the radar, I'm starting to see a little bit of rotation. Let's actually look at our rotation so I can see if it's agreeing that might be very low rotation. It's giving it about a 9. It's giving it about, I'd say, hold on. The peak of it's probably going to be around a 7.6. So that's kind of the rotation level over here but let's be honest, every storm rotates at some point, just it's not significant rotation like most of our tornado warned storms. Also, I do want to note that we have another threat to worry about. We have a flash flood warning for Potawatomi and Seminole counties here. To the south, I kind of just put on our warning track here. Uh, this flash flood warning includes shots at Garden Grove going into Belmont. Let's actually, hold on. Let's actually see if there's anything. But I think at this point our flash flood warning, but there is, okay. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. This one's going to be for Seminole and Potawatomi counties. What just got issued? Something might have, yeah. Okay, my bad. That's one of my other things. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This one's gonna, so this one includes Earlsboro. I predicted this. Because this storm's actually moving more south now instead of more towards Seminole and stuff. But Seminole still needs to be watching because these storms still going to be quite strong to enter your area. Shawnee, you guys are just going to experience some heavy rain from this. Nothing crazy to worry about. Checking back up with our little storm structure over here that literally like 3 storm chasers are lining up on right now. Let's take a look at it. Brandon Montgomery over here. Still seeing that decent. Oh, I need to open my Epic pen over here. Epic. Epic pen. Okay. So, it might be a little too thick, but you can see. Oh, that was terrible. Oh man. But you can see like somewhere right here. Oh, we have where we have that little. That's where if we have rotation on this, that's where it's going to be. Now it's not tornado warning, so there's no confirming. Ooh, so there's no confirming that this is rotating, but your little kind of dip up into this, your little dip down here. That's kind of one of our signs that this may be rotating. Let's go into Ringwood. Still not much happening on velocity, but let's see what our probability of this rotating. Okay, so it's kind of what our other storm is, but it's actually lower a little bit. I think it peaks at 6, so yeah. Go to just pick. Okay, Hudson's equipment just picked it up. So, let's actually do some timings here as the storm moves more southerly. Storm track. Whoop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Is this storm actually moving at 9 miles an hour? Okay, so let me see real quick. How fast is this storm moving? Okay, so this storm is moving very, very slow. Like, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. You could probably run faster than this storm right now. Because it's only moving at 10 miles an hour. So, I'm not saying you should, just you can probably run faster than this storm right now. Like at this point, mine isn't gonna hit for another hour. So, you're in mine, you're good. Checking up on our storms near Tulsa. Tulsa going up towards Blackburn and stuff. Looks like stronger, potentially. Look at our hail on this one. Our probability of severe hail. Okay, so it's not even popping up. I don't think we're gonna have any. The probability of these storms producing severe hail is right now just like nothing. Let's double check that here. Yeah, 0% of these storms producing any hail, but that probability of hail is rising. So, while the probability of severe hail is stabilized at 0, since the probability of hail is rising, the probability of severe hail is going to rise as well. And so here's a panned out view of what we. Hold on. Here's a panned out view on what we are dealing with right now. 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 special weather statement, and a few flash flood warnings. And wow, that is magic perfect timing over here. We have a new special weather statement for Sequoia and LaFleur counties as this storm enters Arkansas. It still has a little bit more time in Oklahoma, so it still needs to be watched. This is kind of growing concerns that this could go severe warning. Let's actually see what the chance that this does go severe. Okay, 80% chance that this goes severe for hail. So I would definitely be watching this as the storm moves into Roland, Cottonwood, and Fort Smith. I'm gonna turn on my soundboard in case I need to use it. I'll see why. In case it's 20 in the morning, I can play the sound if I need to. Okay, so my stream might lag for a little bit as I'm trying to load something up. But in the meantime, while that's loading, checking back in on a severe thunderstorm near Earlsboro. As the storm moves southward, it's definitely strong. This is gonna hit Earlsboro pretty strongly. Like I think it's actually from the peak of the hail might hit this area strongly. Okay, it's popping up now. Alright, this is just a test. It's not actually, this is not a, don't tell me. Is that storm go severe warned? Okay, but let me test this real quick. Ugh. Okay, my sounds aren't working, so.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay. That's working.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Okay, so that's working, and then we're okay. I just haven't used these in a while, so I'm testing them. Okay, so we got the sounds working in case we need them, but right now, we shouldn't need any of them right now, but I'm just keeping them on in case we do. Alright, let's go back over to, oh yeah, here. Here's my main page. Let's see.
A new tornado emergency has been issued. A new tornado emergency has been issued.
Alright, that's a lesson learned. I'm just testing our sounds over here in case we do need to use these at any time over severe weather season, especially as we're going into May, so things are going to be a bit more active. But right now we're in April, which is still a really active month for severe weather, but May is by far the most active month of severe weather. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. Boom, 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 do, do, do. Hey, boom, 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 boom. Anyways, we have a strong storm coming into Fort Smith right now, and it's kind of gonna put Fort Coffee actually here. Bum, 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 I just got an out of context clip, didn't I? Of course I did. I did just get an out of context clip, probably. Okay, so these are actually separate severe storms. I think they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning because of this storm near Tesmica, and this severe thunderstorm warning for the storm near Earlsboro. But they're gonna kind of together and merge, and maybe even get, get make one big storm here. By the way, I want to show you guys something I have made real quick. So we have all. So you notice at the top we have a whole bunch of things now that say tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, whatever's the highest level warning we have right now. But even this can go up to tornado emergency. Hopefully, we never have to use this, but it is there for when we need to use a tornado, when we have to use a tornado emergency sound or tornado emergency. But let's go back to our orange severe thunderstorm warning. That's our highest level warning we have at this very moment. But I'm going to start watching this storm a bit more with my eye over here because our storm chasers are kind of leaning towards this one as their target to get. But But this storm chaser is leaving, and this storm chaser is kind of hanging out here. Where's our boy Jaden? Okay. So Jaden, yeah, everybody's kind of leaving these storms in different directions. So, maybe this storm isn't their target anymore, because we have Corey Gherkin just kind of leaving the storm to the east, but we have Brandon Montgomery and Jaden Pappenheim going to the northwest. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but they're the storm chasers. They know what they're doing. Um. Okay, so by the way, this storm has so an update on our hail cores here because we now have two, but here we have one hail core to the north of Earlsboro. I think this is actually going to be the stronger one as this moves to the south. To the south, we also have this little hail core over here near Tesmuco. And these are both kind of. Hold on. Let me see where this little. Okay, these storms definitely has the possibility that they could do a merge. By the way, severe thunderstorm warning no longer in effect for Seminole. So Seminole's now no longer in a threat of severe weather, but you could still get heavy rain, definitely. Checking in Tulsa right now because I believe it is kind of raining a little bit. I mean, a little rain won't hurt anything. Just I kind of want to see our cloud formation here, but this cloud formation is really cool. Looking over here in the eastern side of Tulsa over here. Decent looking storm, definitely. But we're going up to our northern camera. Close it. Close the. Okay. We're going up towards Owasso in Collinsville. We have another camera. This is actually looking direct. Oh my. This is. I'm screenshotting that. Oh my god. I think we just got a new warning, didn't we? Yeah, we probably did, or they just expired one, but look at this formation. Dear Lord. Hold on. I mean, nothing. I mean, that is some crazy looking clouds. Anyway, okay, severe thunderstorm warning continues over here for 12 more minutes for Seminole and Potawatomi counties. Continue to be indoors and away from windows if you're in those areas. Also, storm continues over here to go toward Fort Smith. By the way, people ask me all the time, why do I cover Fort Smith this area? Um, because even though we only cover Oklahoma, is because this it's because Fort Smith is actually part of Oklahoma. It's part in Oklahoma, part in Arkansas. And don't get me wrong, it's more Arkansas, but this little area right here, that's actually part of Oklahoma. And what I said was we cover anywhere in Oklahoma and it's part of Oklahoma, so we still cover it. Sometimes we will go to a little bit of Arkansas, but not cover it fully. Just if we have to, if it's fighting for Oklahoma and Arkansas, we might have to go a little bit into Arkansas. Radar bugs, wonderful as usual. Bug on there. Oh. So nothing to do with the rotation is with the storm. So do not be concerned for rotation because this just isn't rotating right now. So it's not a concern for rotation right now. Trying to find something real quick. Oh, oh. It, Potawatomi County. Until 7:15 p.m. Extremely dangerous. Yeah, blue pound. Okay. So like, okay. Usually just the 30. Okay. So, so we have to start morning continues for how much longer? 7 more minutes. So, hold on. So, okay. At this point, these storms are barely moving. They're nearly stationary. So let's actually see storm track. Now, this storm's moving at 8 miles an hour, so this is not an incredibly fast-moving storm. So this is going to actually be over. Once this gets to Earlsboro, it's going to definitely. Huh? It's going to definitely be over this area for a while. So there's probably going to be hail for a while. It's probably going to be. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for a while. Why is that opening? Stop opening. Oh my god. Here's the more music one. Oh. Okay. Mm. Mm. So I want to note that these storms are going to be moving like how fast I'm drawing this right now. Even slower than that. It's moving south-south. It's moving south-southwest. So if you're in the path of this arrow, you're probably in the path of these storms at some point. You're gonna have we're gonna have 4 more minutes. We're probably gonna stay on here because we're gonna lose all severe thunderstorm warnings, and our scroll bar at the top is gonna say flash flood warning. For a while. We're making an auto system for that, but right now I just have to do it manually, and it won't take a while. It won't take a while. How? Oh my god. I just spilled water all over myself. Oh my god. Hold on, chat. Dude, I spilled water all over myself. Okay, anyway. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for 2 more minutes. Going until 6:30. So yeah. Right now at this point, it is right over Earlsboro. And you can see what's on our next scan. That was our next scan, and it barely really did much. I need to fix that. Hold on. Yeah, I just turned on something real quick. So, you guys will now always see a line tracking across your screen. But within the next minute or two, this morning should expire. Yeah, this expires in a minute. But we could see expansion for another severe thunderstorm warning because I can see this still being a severe thunderstorm. It expires now, so we're gonna at this point change our things. That's gonna say flash flood warning. It's gonna be green. Whoa, whoa, not tornado on the ground. No, 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 no. So this green, then flash flood warning. Okay. Because at this point, it's to be a thunderstorm. Yeah, they're just extending it as a special weather statement. We'll actually stay here for like another minute or two, and then we'll end things off. But if there's like a tornado warning or something, we will come back here. Okay. So, bye guys. We'll see you in the next live stream. Because all of our severe thunderstorm warnings have now just expired. This we can admire this warning disappear on itself here. So let's just wait. Just wait. It'll disappear in just a moment. Okay, so alright. So we're gonna end this off here because we have no severe thunderstorm warnings. We're just down to a couple special weather statements and a flash flood warning. So bye guys, we'll see you in the next live stream.